Imagine this. You're not being hunted, you're not starving, you're not in danger. But your brain thinks you are. Because every time you open that app, every time you scroll, click, tap, swipe, your ancient mind is flooded with a chemical designed for survival, now hijacked by convenience. That chemical is dopamine. And right now, it's ruling your life. Welcome to the channel, where we dive into the hard truths most men avoid and the ancient wisdom modern life has buried. If you're tired of feeling stuck, numb, or lost in distractions, you're in the right place. Subscribe now, hit that bell, and prepare to unplug from the matrix, because this is going to shake you awake. Let's begin. The year is 1954. Two scientists, James Olds and Peter Milner, are in a lab with a rat. They implant an electrode into a small part of the rat's brain and hand it a lever. Every time the rat presses it, a jolt of pleasure shoots through its body. At first, it's just curious, but then something strange happens. It can't stop. It ignores food. It ignores sleep. It presses the lever 7,000 times an hour until it collapses. That part of the brain? The dopamine pathway. Fast forward to today. You're not a rat, but you've got your own lever, and you're pulling it hundreds of times a day. TikTok, Instagram, porn, fast food, online shopping, video games, a digital dopamine buffet, always one swipe away. And the worst part? Most men have no idea they're addicted. No idea that their drive, ambition, and mental clarity are quietly eroding with every hit. But here's the haunting question. What happens to a man when the thing that once gave him motivation now leaves him empty? Let's go deeper. Dopamine isn't about pleasure. That's the first lie. It's about anticipation, about wanting. Evolution designed it to push us toward goals: food, shelter, reproduction. In the harsh wilds of history, dopamine was a survival tool. You hunted for hours, chased game, built fires, fought off enemies. Every victory was hard-earned. And dopamine pushed you there, but now, you don't have to chase. You click. You don't hunt. You tap. You don't fight. You scroll. And the dopamine flows the same, only without the reward of effort. That's the trap. Imagine your brain as a battlefield. There's a part of you, the primitive, impulsive self, that craves ease. And there's another part, the disciplined, evolved self that seeks meaning, growth, legacy. When you flood your brain daily with cheap dopamine hits, guess which part gets stronger? Now think about your own life. How many times have you tried to start something? A business, a fitness goal, a morning routine, only to quit a few days later? You didn't lack willpower. Your brain was already overloaded. The pleasure centers were fried. And just like the rat in that experiment, you kept going back to the lever. But men weren't made for this. We were made to struggle, to pursue, to delay gratification for the sake of something greater. And without that tension, without that noble fight, we decay. Not physically at first, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It's the slow death of masculine purpose. And it's happening every day to millions of men silently. The modern world doesn't want you to notice. It wants you pacified, comfortably numb, easy to sell to, easy to manipulate. You think you're making choices, but dopamine is making them for you. That next video autoplaying isn't random. That ad that knows exactly what you like isn't a coincidence. Your attention isn't yours anymore. It's a commodity. But here's the twist. There's a way out. It starts with a dopamine detox. Now let me be clear. This isn't some trendy biohack. It's war. A mental reset. A rebellion against the endless pull of instant pleasure. When you begin to strip away the overstimulation, no screens, no sugar, no mindless consumption, you begin to feel something terrifying at first. Silence. And that silence is where your power returns. Because buried under the noise is your real self. The man who remembers what he once wanted. The man who once dreamed big, who didn't need a notification to feel alive. But it won't come easily. The first few days are brutal. Your brain fights back. You feel bored, restless, agitated. That's withdrawal. But then something remarkable happens. Your focus sharpens. Your motivation returns. The small things, sunlight, conversation, journaling, start to bring joy again. You start doing hard things, not because they're easy, but because they matter. You feel alive not because you're stimulated, but because you're present. And presence, my brother, is the doorway to mastery. Think of monks in ancient monasteries, Spartan warriors in silent camps, samurai training in empty halls. These men didn't drown in distraction, they eliminated it. They knew that stillness was the forge of strength. And in today's world, stillness is rebellion. You want to be uncommon? Start by doing what no one else can. Sit alone without reaching for a fix. You begin to realize boredom is not your enemy, it's the birthplace of ideas. But the truth is, most men won't do it. They'll keep chasing comfort, keep numbing themselves, keep wondering why they feel hollow, lost, and angry. But you watching this right now, you're not most men. Or you wouldn't have made it this far. You're here because something inside you knows, something primal, something ancient, that the world you're in is not the world you were built for, and that to survive it, to conquer it, you need to remember who you are. And to remember who you are, you must first strip away who you are not. So how do you begin? You start with a fast, not just from food, but from stimulus, a digital fast, a dopamine reset. You wake up and you don't reach for your phone, you don't check your notifications, you don't scroll. Instead, you sit, you breathe, you walk outside, you journal, you lift, you do something hard, something boring, something real. And as you do, something ancient begins to stir within you. At first, your mind screams for the fix, just a peek, just 5 minutes. But you resist. You say no. And every time you say no, a spark lights in your brain. Discipline, integrity, control. It's not about quitting forever. It's about reclaiming your ability to choose, because right now, you don't choose anything. You're pulled by algorithms, by cravings, by invisible wires. But the moment you stop reacting and start deciding, it is the moment you stop being a slave. There's a man in history who understood this before science ever caught up. His name was Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, and perhaps the most powerful man of his time. Yet every morning he woke up and reminded himself of death, of duty, of purpose. He didn't need applause or luxury to feel complete. He practiced temperance, he wrote in silence. He understood the war within the self. And you don't need to be a king to live like one. You just need to strip away the distractions long enough to see the battlefield. And then, step by step, begin to rebuild your mind. Think about what's been taken from you. The ability to sit and read for hours without checking your phone. The ability to listen to someone without needing to respond with a dopamine-loaded joke. The ability to sit in silence and reflect. These are not minor things. These are superpowers. And they've been stolen. But now you have the chance to take them back. And as you detox, something almost magical happens. Time slows down. Your meals taste better. Your workouts go deeper. Your thoughts become clearer. You start to see beauty in things you once ignored. And slowly the things that used to numb you begin to bore you. That's not failure, that's evolution. Your brain is adapting. And as your baseline resets, you become dangerous again. Not to others, but to the systems that rely on your weakness. You stop being predictable. You stop being pacified. You become the kind of man who can wait, who can watch, who can strike with purpose rather than react from impulse. And that kind of man, he becomes a leader, a protector, a builder. Not because he's flashy or loud, but because he has conquered himself. Think about your ancestors. Men who carved paths through forests, who built homes with bare hands, who hunted, provided, protected. They didn't have infinite entertainment or instant rewards. They had hardship, and through that hardship, they developed clarity, presence, vision. You have that blood in you, but your world is stealing your edge. And the longer you stay sedated, the harder it becomes to rise. But here's the twist most people miss. Dopamine isn't evil, it's sacred, it's your engine. The problem isn't dopamine, it's how you earn it. When you begin to tie that chemical to things like discipline, exercise, meditation, delayed gratification, you unlock a version of yourself that's almost unstoppable. Because now your brain rewards growth, not consumption, and that's where greatness begins. You stop chasing fleeting highs. You start building something real. A stronger body, a sharper mind, a calmer soul. You stop running from discomfort and begin seeking it. You stop escaping your emotions and start mastering them. You stop living for the weekend and start living on purpose. And soon you'll notice that other men, they start asking what changed, why you're focused, why you're calm, why you're dangerous in the best way, and you'll know. You'll remember the moment you stopped scrolling and started feeling, the moment you unplugged, the moment you reset your brain. You'll remember the silence, and in that silence, you'll find peace, clarity, power. But more than anything, you'll find yourself. Because the man who can master his mind can master anything. So here's your challenge. Take 1 day, then 3, then 7. Go without artificial dopamine. No mindless scrolling, no junk food, no porn, no video games, just real life, real choices, real focus. Start small if you need to, but start. The world wants you distracted, because a distracted man is a weak man, but a man who's present, he's unshakable. So if this resonated with you, let it be more than just a video, let it be a turning point. Comment below with reset if you're ready to reclaim your focus. Share this with a brother who needs to hear it. And most importantly, act. Because your mind, your true mind, isn't lost, it's just waiting for you to come home.